Counterterrorism is one of the foreign policy that has become the nature of America since the beginning. The USA has established a Bureau of Counterterrorism to deal with the problem of security threats from outside parties, which continue to be the biggest security threat to the USA. The Bureau of Counterterrorism mission is to promote US national security by taking a leading role in developing coordinated strategies and approaches to defeat terrorism abroad and securing the counterterrorism cooperation of international partners. Therefore, in 2009 until 2013, when President Barack Obama was elected as the 44th President of the USA, many counterterrorism policies have been implemented to ensure the safety of the USA. President Obama pledged to make his counterterrorism policies more nimble, more transparent, more ethical than the one pursued by the George W. Bush administration.
In terms of counterterrorism, Barack Obama took office in 2009 with a complex and divisive environment. The preceding 8 years has been dominated by the Bush administration war on terror, which included the invasion of Iraq, the Patriot Act, the use of extraordinary rendition, and the confinement at Guantanamo Bay. The administration maintained an emphasis on disrupting and destroying terrorist networks, while addressing the underlying causes of terrorism through a combination of targeted military actions, international collaboration, and diplomatic engagement. These are the key elements of the policy during the Obama administration. First is drone warfare. The use of unmanned aerial vehicle or drone for targeted strikes on terrorists in Pakistan, Yemen, and Somalia had increased significantly, gained criticism for its ethical and legal justification. Second is international cooperation. Obama emphasized multilateral cooperation in counterterrorism efforts, building relationships with allies and partners to combat terrorist threats globally. Significant event happened during the Obama administration is the elimination of Osama bin Laden. In May 2011, US forces raided Osama bin Laden's compound in Pakistan, killing the Al-Qaeda leader and achieving a major symbolic victory in the fight against terrorism. The second is the Arab Spring and Libya intervention. The administration faced challenges in navigating the Arab Spring uprising, ultimately supporting NATO intervention in Libya to protect civilians, leading to the downfall of Muammar Gaddafi. In conclusion, in contrast to the previous administration unilateralism, the Obama administration placed a greater emphasis on diplomacy, multilateralism, and combination of hard and soft power in its first term of counterterrorism strategy. Throughout this time, there were both achievements and difficulties, which helped to shape later trends in the American counterterrorism operation.
The theory that is suitable for this study is liberalism. The characteristic of liberalism can be seen during the Obama administration, such as multilateral intervention, responsibility to protect soft power and diplomacy, and support for democratic movement. By collaborating with foreign allies and receiving UN Security Council permission for the intervention, the Obama administration employed a multilateral approach in the Libyan crisis.
There are two main points in the analysis of examined foreign policies. Firstly is the strategic framework. Obama employs a multilateral strategy. As an example, the US worked with the Arab League, the UN and NATO to develop support for the use of force to protect civilians in Libya. Secondly is the Obama's foreign policy. Obama's foreign policy referred to smart power, which is the combination of hard and soft power. During Obama's administration, his foreign policy is particularly heading in the Arab world. Why? Because Obama wants to reverse the damage and the reputation of US foreign policy in the Middle East, which has been done by the Bush Doctrine, which it presents what Obama perceives to be America's national interests with liberal idealists, where it is seeking to use America's power to enforce a global regime of human rights and democracy.
Focus on intelligence and special operations. The Obama administration's emphasis on intelligence-driven counterterrorism efforts, coupled with an increased reliance on special operation forces and drone strike, have profound policy implications for America. Recognizing the need for a targeted and surgical approach, the administration prioritized getting actionable intelligence to identify and neutralize value terrorists. This shift underscore a departure from large-scale military interventions, aligning with a more strategic and focused methodology.
Friction with Congress. The administration's expansion of executive power in counterterrorism matters led to tension and friction with Congress, particularly regarding drone strikes and Guantanamo Bay. This challenged the traditional balance of power between the executive and legislative branches.
The point is, it has led to public opinion and congressional action. President Obama got critics as he abides by the opinion of the Security Council without consulting the Congress to launch the use of force against Libya. Some observers and critics began to worry, again, about an imperial presidency.
The policy implication to America itself is drone strike legislation. The increased use of drone strike in Libya and other countries during the Obama administration raised concern about potential civilian casualties, lack of transparency and accountability for drone program. This spurred legislative effort to restrict drone strikes, require greater transparency on targeting procedures, and establish mechanism for investigating and compensating civilian casualties.
Increased migration. The instability in Libya led to the significant increase in refugees and migrants fleeing to Europe, placing pressures on receiving countries and contributing to tension related to immigrant policies.
The controversy around regime change in Libya inspired a new coalition of actors in the debates on R2P, which is responsibility to protect and norms of protections. Those actors that support R2P because they endorse the idea of human security and of focusing on protecting individuals rather than the rights of states.
The effect of the relationship between Libya and America after invaded Libya is limited counter-terrorism action. The intervention, despite its humanitarian justification, generated deep resentment and mistrust toward the US among many Libyans. Their perceived unilateral action and disregard for Libyan sovereignty fuel anti-American sentiment, eroding any foundation for trust and collaboration. This lingering suspicion hinders communication, intelligence sharing, and joint operation needed for effective counter-terrorism effort.
Emphasize on international collaboration. The Obama administration emphasized on international collaboration in the fight against terrorism marked a significant departure from unilateral approaches. Recognizing the interconnected nature of global security challenges, the administration underscored the importance of coordinated efforts and information sharing among nations. This approach acknowledged that terrorism knows no borders and that a collaborative response is essential for effectively addressing the complex and evolving nature of threats. This collaborative emphasis not only strengthened the collective ability to prevent and respond to terrorist activities, but also fostered a sense of shared responsibilities in maintaining global security.
Lastly is the policy recommendation for President Biden. In my opinion, is to implement dual practice of the check and balance to guarantee that no branch holds absolute power. As America advocates democratization and its free trade globally, it must present the ideal and the good ways of particular ideology to avoid portraying liberalism as a negative ideology.
I recommend that President Joe Biden prioritize a diplomatic strategy that fosters international collaboration and coordination. The United States should work closely with its ally and partner to strengthen multilateral efforts aimed at preventing and responding to terrorism. This involves enhancing intelligence sharing mechanism, conducting joint operation, and coordinating diplomatic efforts to address the root causes of extremism, engaging in constructive dialogue with countries that are critical in the fight against terrorism, especially in the region with heightened threats, can contribute to a more unified and effective global response.
Incremental and focused cooperation. This recommendation can identify areas of immediate common ground such as specific militant group or border security for initial collaboration. Also build trust and demonstrate the benefits of cooperation through successful small-scale initiatives. Moreover, gradually expand cooperation based on demonstrated trust and mutual understanding.
Promote stability. Prioritize efforts to address the root causes of terrorism, including socio-economic issues, political instability, and governance challenges to promote long-term stability in affected regions.